Okay, hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a very casual video where I pack up the books that I'm taking with me to college and answer some book tag questions. I thought that'd be kind of fun. I do have a video that's kind of a counterpart to this one where I go through all of these books in depth. So if you want to see all of the books that I'm taking with me to college and a little more info about them, you can go watch that one. But this one is legitimately just gonna be me putting them in this box. So yeah, we're gonna get into the video. I really hope you like it. Let's go. So after some very intense googling, I found the Ultimate Recommendations book tag from AllisonThorneAXX.com. This one goes out to you. We're gonna do this one and we're gonna talk about some books while I pack books. First question is, recommend a book from one of your favorite genres. So I would say one of my personal favorite genres is fantasy. Probably fantasy. If I had to pick one, what am I gonna choose for this? I guess none of my fantasy is really over here. We'll go with this one. I'm actually bringing this to college with me. This is A Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. This is a very, very long high fantasy book. It is book one of the Stormlight Archive and I just love this book a lot. It was so good. It was so immersive. Like, it's very intimidating when you first start, like, don't get me wrong, but I had such a good time reading it and I cannot wait to read the second one very soon. So it's right here actually. I really like this book and I think everyone should read this book. Into the box, there you go. Recommend a short book. I love a good short book. I am going to recommend We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. I absolutely adore this book. It was so good. I read it earlier this year and I just loved it. It's only like 150 pages maybe. I read this in a span of like a day and it was just such a weird experience, but this book is so really good and I love her writing style. It's just so captivating and gripping and I just thought it was so good. Ooh, recommend a book to screen adaptation. I don't really know, to be honest. I think I haven't really watched many book to screen adaptations recently. I think the only one I have watched is Shadowhunters, which is obviously the book to screen adaptation for The Mortal Instruments. It wasn't like the worst thing ever and I really like the people who are in the show. Like, as people, they seem like a really good cast. What they did with the source material was interesting. Shall we leave it at that? So not really a recommendation, but I'm just gonna use Shadowhunters because it's the only one I've seen recently. Recommend a book out of your comfort zone. I guess I don't really read outside of my comfort zone that much, hence the term comfort zone, I guess. And I feel like I do read a wide variety of genres, so I don't like really know. Oh, I have one. I am going to be recommending The Woman in the Window. I do not personally read a lot of thrillers or mystery novels, but I picked this one up from the thrift store last year for like $2 and I read this, I think on Halloween day. Like, I read it in the span of a day, so that's a really like fun memory that I have for it, I guess. It's a little predictable, like you can kind of see where it's gonna go. I'm not saying it's like the best thriller, but it is one of the only thrillers that I've read and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was gripping, a fun time. If you haven't read it, I think this is also getting a movie adaptation, so that's kind of fun. So yeah, Woman in the Window. Next up, recommend a book series. I mean, I don't want to say it, but might I recommend to you? Can you see it? Yeah. The Infernal Devices. I know. Maybe I should recommend a different book series. I know what to do. I am going to recommend The Monsters of Verity duology by Victoria Schwab. I read this series last year and I enjoyed it so much. I loved all of the main characters. I thought the dystopian setting was really interesting and Victoria Schwab's storytelling is always just off the charts, so I really enjoyed this book. I think This Savage Song is my favorite out of the two, but I gave both of them like a 4 or 5 stars each, so like you should read it if you haven't. I know this is like a no-brainer, but it's so good and I just really enjoy this series. Ooh, recommend a standalone. I don't really read a lot of standalones, I feel. Let me think here. Every book I see that I want to recommend is the first book in a series. This is perfect. I feel like a lot of these answers are very like, you already know what these books are, but it's fine. We're gonna go with The Priory of the Orange Tree. I absolutely loved this book. It was fantastic. It has a queendom. There's a sapphic relationship at the heart of it. There's dragons. Honestly, what more could you ask for? I loved this book so much. If you have not read it, you absolutely should. Do not let the size of it intimidate you. Like, it's just so, what's the word? Engrossing, I guess. I don't know, but it's so good. And I know she's writing something related to this book, but I don't think this is going to be made into a series, if I remember correctly. So, if you haven't read Priory, I so recommend it. It's so good. Recommend a book that you don't talk about enough. Oh god, I feel like every single book I like, I just harp on for like months until I forget about it. Book I don't talk about enough. So for this one, I'm going to be talking about These Witches Don't Burn by Isabel Sterling. I absolutely love this series, and I have a vlog that I filmed earlier this year where I read the second book in this series, but I just feel like overall I don't mention this book enough because I feel like some people do talk about it on, you know, like BookTube and stuff, but I feel like it doesn't get talked about enough because it's just so fun. Like, I loved this series. Both of the books were super interesting. It's got witches in it, which I absolutely love, and not to mention the cover of this book is gorgeous. Whoever did the cover design for this is very talented. Like, I love this so much. Follows witches, there's some dark magic, there's a sapphic relationship, there's an angsty ex-girlfriend. I love it. So the next question is to recommend your staple book. I don't really know what my staple book would be considered, to be honest. I feel like as of recent, I would definitely choose a Shadowhunters book because I have just been, oh god, talking about this for so many months still. Try not to recommend those though because I do talk about them so often, but this might be the choice. God, I don't know what my staple book is. So we're just gonna go with The Infernal Devices. I talk about it enough. I think it has earned that title, so I won't talk about it anymore though. I've already, yeah. Moving on to 9 is recommend the book/books that got you into reading. When I first got into reading when I was younger, I would probably say it was like Harry Potter. And then I got back into reading like last year-ish, and it was Harry Potter again, to be honest. Pet Sematary is the first book that I read last year after I read Harry Potter, so I felt like it was my real foray into like adult fiction, you know? So this was fantastic, and it has led me to read so many other Stephen King books and really got me into the horror genre, and I want to read so much more from the horror genre. I feel like I haven't delved into it that much, but I do really like scary books. So I feel like this has helped me figure out a genre that I really like. It just helped me read more books because after this I wanted to read more Stephen King, which then led me to just expanding my reading taste like out from there and trying things that aren't Harry Potter. So yeah, really helped me expand my reading taste, and this book is just so good anyway, so you know. So number 10 is to recommend 3 other people who give great book recommendations, and this is also the last question, by the way. So if you want some great book recommendations, I'm probably gonna go with Ashley from Frolic Through Fiction. She, I feel like, just gives so many like smaller fantasy author recommendations, I mean, as well as big ones, but I feel like it's very diverse in what she recommends. Noelle Gallagher is really where I started watching on YouTube, and she is the one who actually inspired me to read Pet Sematary, and that then got me into reading War King. And oh, who else? I watch a lot of booktubers, I feel like, so I feel like I should have some recommendations to get here. Oh, I know. Leonie from the book Leo. I just feel like her reading taste is exquisite. Like, I feel like every time she's reading a book, I'm like, damn, I should read that book. So there is my 3rd. We are almost done here, putting all of my books in this box. I'm really not bringing too many of these with me to college, just because I feel like, I mean, I'm not gonna read all of these. This is mainly just for my own satisfaction of being surrounded by my favorite books, so you know how it is. So I really hope you enjoyed the video. I know it probably wasn't that interesting, but I thought it would be fun to just do something chill and casual while I pack up my books and get ready to move back to college in a couple of days, which, but it's fine. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, let me know down below. Are you going back to school sometime soon? If so, I'm so sorry. Have I already asked this question? I don't know. Anyway, so yes, like, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.